So we also discussed about the 5 working senses, the Pancha Karmendriyas, Jnanendriyas, and Pancha Vishayas.
Yeah. So in Tanmatras, so basically we discussed 2.14. Matras Parshastu Kaunteya, Shitoshna Sukadukkada, Agama Paino Nityaha, Tam Stitikshasva Bharata. So Krishna says, happiness and distress are like winter and summer. They come and go, and they only occur due to sense perception. Matra Sparsha. Matra means Tanmatra, the senses belonging to this body. And we discussed what are the different senses. There are 5 working senses, karmendriyas, 5 jnanendriyas, knowledge acquiring senses, and 5 sense objects. So 15 tanmatras. And the happiness and distress is due to the contact of senses with sense objects. And how we make the difference between happiness and distress? How we differentiate? See,
based on our expectations.
Yes, very good. Expectations. So saintly people are Jivan Muktas who are liberated, even though they are living in this material world. They are transcendental. They have transcended all these, 3 modes of material nature, and they have transcended the sense perception. So when their senses come in contact with sense objects, they do not differentiate between happiness and distress, because they do not have the expectations like how we do. So our problem is because of expectations. We differentiate between happiness and distress because of our expectations. Whenever we interact with anybody, we always expect everything should be good. That interaction should be good. It should be pleasant. The conversation should be pleasant. And I should only hear about all glories about myself, and nothing bad about myself. I may like to hear about bad things about others, but not about myself. So we have some expectations. And when those expectations are not met, then it leads to distress. So the happiness and distress is only a situation. And based on our perceptions, we perceive happiness in one way and distress in a different way. And how to get rid of the attachment?
We thought of discussing further on this in this class, Prabhuji.
While lowering expectations is what we discussed last time, but I thought about it and I thought lowering expectations is one way of looking at it. Can we also say that other than lowering expectations, we are accepting the situation?
Okay. So with expectations, what comes with expectations? Or why? Let me clarify my question. Let me correct my question. Why do we have expectations in the first place?
We want a desired
outcome.
outcome.
Identify ourselves too much with indriyas, different kind of senses, and we want them to be happy, and that causes certain expectations. Like, I want to live this kind of lifestyle, so if it doesn't work, then I'm unhappy. Or if I want to listen only, my ears want to listen only certain kind of words towards myself. So if that doesn't happen, I feel happy. So I think we identify ourselves with too much with indriyas, like you mentioned, Prabhuji, and that causes to have certain expectations and
No, these are the details of expectations.
Because
Like
of
being
attachment.
happy. Huh? What you got?
Because of attachment.
Attachment. Very good. Yeah. Because of attachment. So because of attachment, we develop some expectations. And when there are expectations, then we differentiate between happiness and distress. So today we'll discuss how to get rid of the attachment. But what else did we discuss last week? We discussed many things actually, right?
Prabhuji, we discussed about any activity being has like 5 things like needed, like desire, facility, the cooperation of the demigods, activity, and
5 factors needed to fulfill any action.
right.
5 factors that are needed to fulfill any action. Okay. We discussed many different numbers actually last week, right? We started with tanmatras, 5 working senses, 5 knowledge acquiring senses, 5 sense objects. And then we discussed the 3 categories, how human beings, animals, and demigods are categorized. So how they are categorized? Human beings, animals, and demigods.
Moha.
Animals are categorized by constant fear. Yeah.
Shoka, Bhaya, Moha.
Shoka, Bhaya, Moha. Yeah. Yeah. Demigods, Moha, illusion. They are categorized by unlimited amount of enjoyment. And because of the unlimited enjoyment, they are always under illusion. They think they are the supreme. Indra thinks he is the supreme. So they are under illusion, moha. And animals, constant fear, bhaya. And human beings, predominantly shoka, lamentation. But they can be, I mean, we can attribute all the 3 things to human beings, shoka, moha, and bhaya. And how to get rid of shoka, moha, bhaya? We discussed that also, right?
By not getting attached.
No.
By lowering expectations.
No.
What was it? Shoot.
Is it tolerating?
Tolerating? No. Huh? No, we discussed. Yeah, we did.
What's the question again, Prabhuji? How to
get rid of shoka, moha, bhaya?
By surrendering to God.
By surrendering to God.
That's the answer to everything.
Somebody should say by chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Somebody should say by coming to Vedic Cultural Center. We discussed it.
Yeah, Prabhuji, offering everything to the
yeah.
Lord.
That's what
Whatever we do.
But how do you develop the mood of offering everything to Lord?
It's related to the emotions. So individuals have emotions. Right.
Yeah, so we discussed about 4 factors for motivation, like fear.
No, that's a different topic. That's a different topic that we discussed.
We need to tolerate.
No, not tolerance. Not tolerance. Bhaya, how can you tolerate bhaya?
Yeah.
Yeah. Illusion, how can we tolerate illusion? You're already under illusion. So there's no question of tolerating that.
Surrender to God.
No.
Is it Bhakti?
No.
We discussed the one seven, that's Srimad Bhagavatam.
Yeah.
One
You're getting there. We discussed the shloka from Srimad Bhagavatam. Solution to Shoka, Moha, Bhaya, we discussed a shloka from Srimad Bhagavatam. 1.7.7. Canto 1, Chapter 7, Shloka 7. Yasyam Vaishruyamanayam Krishne Paramapurushe Bhakti Rutpadhyate Pumsaha Shoka Moha Bhayapaha. Only by listening to the transcendental qualities and pastimes of Krishna, pure devotion sprouts, and one can get rid of fear, lamentation, and illusion. Only by hearing Krishna Katha and Krishna qualities. 1.7.7. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I have written that shloka, Prabhuji, but researching what it means.
So you have forgotten in what context you have written that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Then at the last sentence there was like Shoka, Moha, and Bhaya. Then I did, oh, this is the.
Yeah. Just like in this verse, 2.14, Agama Paino Nityaha Tam Stitikshasva Bharata. Agama Apaino. Agama means it comes, Apaino, it goes. Just like happiness and distress, it comes and goes. So we are looking for a solution for Shoka, Moha, and Bhaya to go away. Apaino. Shoka, Moha, Bhayapaha. That is the last line of that shloka from Srimad Bhagavatam. Yasyam Vaishruyamanayam Krishne Paramapurushe Bhakti Rutpadhyate Pumsaha Shoka Moha Bhayapaha. Okay, what else did we discuss?
We briefly discussed Nirguna and Saguna.
Nirguna and Saguna. Okay. I think that was in the previous class. Yeah, not, prior to the previous class. Prior to the previous class. So we discussed the three motivations to do any action, right? So what are the three different motivations to do any action?
4, Prabhuji. Fear, desire, duty, and love.
Okay, desire, fear, duty, and love. Actually 4, correct. Yeah, 4 motivations to do any action. And I have a further question on that. Okay, I'll ask in the end. What else? We discussed so many.
We also discussed why Bhagwan doesn't need anything from us, but it is only for our benefit that he says that only for our benefit that we offer all our work and everything his way. But it is not for him, but it is for our benefit itself. So, so shift in perspective.
Very good. At least somebody told a point that I forgot.
No, Prabhuji, the whole week I was thinking about this point. So I was trying to understand why Bhagwan would do this, and it suddenly clicked to me. If you don't mind, I would like to share my.
Yeah, go ahead.
So it's like, say we are in distress, and somebody, some person, normal person, comes and helps us. Then we get indebted in our feelings to that person, to the extent that we are able to offer our services to that person. Say that person happens to be a teacher and a politician, for example. Let's just say he's a politician, and we get so indebted to him that we are ready to offer all our services to him. But here it's in the person form. So now we are offering all our work and worship and everything, our whole self, to this person, and we are working. So that's what even Bhagwan is recommending us to do. Is like, even though he's not visible, we with that dedication, if we offer things to him, we come from a place of bhakti. Just trying to make that connection. Where is this coming from, that he's asking us to offer everything to him? But why? Because we are giving our 100%. Maybe that's why.
So first of all, Krishna is asking us to offer the results of our actions to him. It is not that. Actually, one funny thing happened today in the morning class. Sunday morning, I have a class in Bethel, right? So in that class, one person asked, Krishna is asking to offer everything to him. So isn't this like he's also expecting, just like how we expect things? Isn't it like Krishna is also expecting? So it's the same point, right? Krishna is not expecting anything from us. He is telling that for our own benefit. It is an instruction to us for our own benefit. Why? If we perform any action with attachment to the results, with some expectation on the results, then if the results are not in favor of us, then we feel distressed. And if the results are in our favor, then we feel elated. We feel elated and we develop further attachment, and it becomes an entanglement. It becomes an entanglement. So you want to experience such results more and more. You'll become greedy. You'll become greedy. Whereas if you offer the results to Krishna, then no matter whether it is good or bad, you're not affected. There was this story, right? Once in a village, there was a man. He was very poor. He does not have anything for his livelihood. He struggles very hard for his livelihood. So all the villagers, they ridicule him every day, saying that, hey, this person, he's always dependent on God, and and all the time he says whatever happens is all good. Good or bad, everything is happening for a reason. Good or bad, everything is happening by the will of God. So all the time he gives this philosophy, and the villagers ridicule him. So one day he brings a horse. The horse comes to his place, and no, I think it's a cow. It's a cow. Yeah, cow. So one day a cow comes to his place, and then he starts taking care of the cow. And then the villagers looking at him, they think, oh, he's so lucky. He got a cow. Good thing for him. And this man responds, good thing, bad thing, everything happens by the will of God. And then they again laugh at it, and they leave. And then the next day, and then slowly, he starts taking care of the cow, and then he milks the cow, sells the milk and milk products, and makes a livelihood out of it. So he's happy. Not he's happy, but he continues his livelihood. And then one day, the cow leaves. The cow leaves. And then the villagers come back again. And they say, oh, very bad. The cow, the only thing he had was only one cow, and the cow has left. And this man responds to that saying, good thing, bad thing, everything happens for a reason. Good thing, bad thing, everything happens by the will of God. And then he's not repenting for anything. And then one day a horse comes jumping towards him, and then the horse pounces upon him, and then he falls down and breaks his leg. And then the villagers come back again, and they say, oh, poor man, very bad for him. Now, until now, he had a cow, the cow has left, and now he has even broken his leg. How is he going to take care of himself? Very bad for him. And then the man responds saying, good thing, bad thing, everything happens by the will of God. And then the villagers leave. And then the next day, the governor or the king of that country, he comes to the village and says that there is an imminent war that's going to happen very soon, and everybody in the village is instructed to join the military and fight in the war. And then they take everyone, whoever is capable, they take all the people into the army, except this man, because he has broken his leg. So the king thinks he's unfit for the war, and then they leave him and take all the other villagers into the war. And then the war happens and everybody dies. And then this man realizes, yes, now I'm 200% convinced that good thing, bad thing, everything happens by the will of God. So if we look at this example, just like how that man is not disturbed by happiness and distress, and whatever he has done, he's always offering the results to God. He's always believing that everything is happening by the will of God, and he's ready to offer all the results back to God. That's why he's not disturbed, whether it's a success or failure. He saw success one time and failure at other time. And in all the state, he's equipoised. Yeah. Okay, so we discussed that. And then what else did we discuss?
I heard the story, Prabhuji, but a different version of it. But
Okay.
but I heard this. Yeah.
You heard it. Okay, good.
Yeah, I think I also heard it, Prabhuji. Right. It's called the Chinese farmers.
Chinese farmer. Yeah.
Isn't that? Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's similar. Yeah.
Yeah. So what else did we discuss? Yeah. So why did we discuss the four factors? The four motivators for any action. Why did we discuss that? The four motivators: fear, desire, duty, and love.
With fear and desire, there'll be more expectations, and that will lead to more, of course, sadness and lamentation, and obviously, more attachment towards the results. Whereas duty and love makes us not attach too much to the results, but more to the action itself.
Okay. Now attachment and expectation cannot be the answer for everything. Looks like for next few days, the answer will be attachment and expectation. Oh. So what's the difference between the first two things, desire and fear versus duty and love? We discussed with examples also.
Yeah, so duty and love makes us enjoy even the process of working. Like, for example, if we are as a duty, I mean, we help our parents, we talk to our parents or something like that. So it's out of love, and it's out of, or we take care of our parents, we provide services to them and stuff like that. So it's out of love, and it's also a little bit as duty. So that makes us, whether we don't expect them to, in old age, we at least don't expect them to give us love back, or as much as love that they gave when they were young, when we were kids and stuff like that. Even though we know they cannot provide give anything back to us in their old age, we help them because we love them. So so that we don't care about the results or what outcome it's going to give, but it's just out of love.
No, that's again expectation, right? That's again expectation.
Okay.
It boils down to whatever you described. It is nothing but expectation.
Okay.
So with respect to this shloka 2.14, matra sparshaastu kaunteya, what is the difference between the desire, fear versus duty and love?
So if we do anything with the first two, it can break any time. But if we are doing the things with love, it cannot break any time. So in those lines we discussed.
Yeah, why? What's the driving force? Not driving force. What's the key element here that differentiate working out of desire and fear versus duty and love? Yeah, what you said is correct. If you work with duty and love, then you can continue that for a long time. So
could it be burnout? Burnout, that our desire to work in under fear and for desire will slowly dwindle away. It'll just go away in some time because we won't have that energy to sustain long term. But for love and duty, we have a long way to go. We have that energy to take it to the end.
I remember my childhood days in, when a question was given, if we don't know the answer, we repeat the question. And the examiner, who is in a hurry, he will think that, okay, he has answered the question. There are chances he will get 10 out of 10. No. So what makes it different? Why you're able to, continue that for a long time when you do out of duty or love? I gave a clue also with respect to this shloka, matra sparshaastu kaunteya.
Can I try, Prabhu?
Yes, Swarit.
I'm pretty sure I'll be wrong, but I'll still try. If we are doing something with fear or desire, there are always good chances that there will be rejection in our path.
No, you are बोलते हैं ना हिंदी में मक्की की मक्की.
Let me read the shloka also. Wait.
Swati copied from Venugopal and Swarit copied from Swati.
2.14. One moment.
Yeah,
I don't have my Bhagavad Gita.
Okay, Ashok is selling something.
I mean, like fear and desire, right? It won't last for long. But I again say for.
So he is also telling that in a different version. He also copied, but while copying, he saw something and he's writing down different things.
So it was 2.14 that we discussed, right, Prabhu?
Yeah.
So Prabhuji, what I'm thinking is,
okay. Sorry, go ahead, Mataji.
yeah. I mean, you are saying, go ahead, Prabhuji. I'll do it after you.
No, please go ahead.
Okay, so I'm thinking, Prabhuji, desire and fear, they are matra sparshastu. Basically, they are in
I got
more in touch with sensory and karmendriyas, that leads to more bad results, or if it leads to bad results or good results, whatever, we get attached, and of course that leads to, of course I'm saying the same thing,
Going back to
attachments.
point
I know it's hard to not bring those two words in this shloka particularly, but they are in attachment to sensory organs. They are more to actually please the sensory organs, whereas love and duty is more with the higher intelligence. We do with the higher intelligence, so it's probably better and it helps us continue working.
No.
No,
Swati
I
was
had
telling
some thought.
something, but she's on mute.
okay. So the difference between these two is probably this, that the driving force, desire and fear. Okay, these two driving force, they are non-permanent.
No, you are again telling the same.
Prabhuji, I had a thought.
Aparna, yes.
Oh, I was so
I
confident.
think is that when we are doing out of love, I think we are more tolerant to the process. Like you were talking about how, a mother or a father is taking care of a newborn baby out
Wow,
of
very
love.
good. You are close.
Tolerant.
Yeah, 1 second.
Business
Vinana and
changes.
Sirisha, they're here. Hare Krishna, Vinana, Sirisha, please come. Please come. You are on the phone. Yeah, I saw you. Yeah. Yeah, please come. Please sit. If you need back support, I have a yoga chair. Huh? Okay.
Attendance went up to 300 now. Prabhuji.
Went up to 300 now. Yes, each person is capable of 100 people. No, Vinanath and Sirisha, they came looking at all of you, copying from each other and still not telling the right answer. They drove all the way from Bothel to here. They came here to tell the correct answer.
We don't know the question.
What is this?
We just lost context when parking the car and coming.
Okay, so they don't know the question. Okay. So the question is, whenever we do any action, there are 4 different kinds of motivators. We can do things out of fear, or we can do things out of desire, or we can do things out of duty, and the last one is love. We can do things out of love. So we can categorize these two into the first two, desire and fear, into one category, and duty and love into second category. So what's the difference between these two? What makes the second set superior to the first one?
We do it all by our own will, duty and love.
Desire also, we do it on our own will.
I mean, a desire rises because of external circumstances. But duty and love is something which is from heart.
Okay. Okay, that's also a good point. Yeah, that's also a good point.
Prabhuji, can I try?
Yeah, Rahul. Yeah.
So fear and desire is like pointing towards us. Like we fear for ourselves, we desire for ourselves, but duty and love, we like give it out. Like
Fear and love pointing towards us, and duty and love we give out.
yeah.
What you're saying? Okay. So Aparna was telling something which is very close. Aparna, go ahead.
Prabhuji, I was just saying that, giving the example of how a parent is taking care of their child, where it is more selfless love and tolerant, even in the time the baby is being good or bad.
Yeah, we discussed this example. Yes.
So I was thinking of maybe tolerance and that selfless love
Yes.
above oneself is the motivator.
Yeah, very good. Tolerance. The answer is tolerance. The difference between the first set and second set is tolerance. When you do things out of desire or fear, there's no tolerance. In fact, when you do things out of your own desire, there's no tolerance at all, because either you become greedy or you're frustrated. If your desires are fulfilled, you become greedy. If your desires are not fulfilled, you become frustrated. But still, the desire does not die. You still want to do it. Because you are frustrated, you want to try it again until your desires are fulfilled. And if the desires are fulfilled, you become greedy. So there's no tolerance there. And in case of fear, there's no tolerance. There's nothing like tolerating fear. Okay. But when you do things out of duty and love, especially when you do things out of love, there is tolerance. So now we discuss the example of a soldier who performs his duty, who renders his service out of duty, right? So the soldiers can be standing in the summer heat, or even when the snow is falling, they're always at the borderline of the country, and they're ready to protect the country. So there is tolerance. They're tolerating so many things, so many difficulties. They're tolerating so many difficulties. Similarly, love. We discussed mother's love for a child. The mother is ready to do, mother or father are ready to do anything to take care of the baby. They are sacrificing their time. They're sacrificing their own comfort. They're sacrificing their own desires. And they're tolerating so many difficulties just to take care of the child, because they love the child. So that's the main differentiating factor between the first set and second set, tolerance. So in this sloka 2.14, when Krishna asks us to tolerate both happiness and distress, and that is possible only when we do things out of duty or love. And with respect to Bhagavad Gita's message, Krishna's message in Bhagavad Gita, when we perform things out of love for Krishna, then we should be ready to tolerate everything. Just like the mother or father is ready to tolerate everything for the sake of child. Now, if we love Krishna, okay, one fine day we will start loving Krishna. Now we are in the sadhana stage. We are developing love for Krishna. But one day when we start loving Krishna, our Supreme Father, then we'll be ready to tolerate everything to serve Krishna. So that's the key message. We should get it from this shloka. What else did we discuss?
This reminds me of my first reaction to a health condition that that came up last year for me. And
Uh-huh.
my first reaction was, what are you trying to teach me now, God? That was my first reaction.
Tolerance.
Yeah.
Respect.
Tolerance. What are you trying to teach me now? What is it that you are? So, yeah,
Yeah.
it was,
Tolerance.
yeah.
And what else did we discuss?
We discuss about the mind a bit, Prabhuji. It naturally takes the least resistance way
Yeah.
for all the things. So
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Now going back to this topic of happiness and distress, right? So now we understand that because we used enough of this terminology, expectation and attachment. So everybody has become a pro now. Why happiness then distress occurs? So distress occurs or happiness also. They occur because of attachment and expectations. So when when distress happens, when difficulty comes, it's painful, right? So who feels the pain? So who feels the pain? Is it the body or soul or super soul?
The material body feels the pain.
Okay, Ashok is saying soul. Aparna is saying body. Do you have anything else?
Both soul and body.
Okay. None of the above.
All of the above.
All of the above. None of them.
I vote Aparna Mataji's answer.
Okay, Madhuri and Aparna are saying body.
So, would mind count as body? Panch Tattva
Mind
Sharir.
is part of body.
Okay, so mind, then mine is with Mataji too.
Okay. So Rahul?
so maybe like the body feels the pain, but some of the impressions might carry over to the soul, which we will not able to perceive those materially. Maybe the soul perceives some of it if the pain is horrible or death-like. So maybe it's a confusing question.
I have one question to
Yeah.
In English term, we have soul, but in Sanskrit, even the mind is divided into different sections. Your happiness or past life impressions, whatever you do, the chit, they call it in the chit, where everything is stored, and that is what is carried forward.
Yeah, the subtle body, which consists of mind, intelligence, and soul, that is carried forward from one body to another body.
Then I'd say the pain or happiness or this thing is there in the mind or in the subtle body.
Okay. No, the options are only two, body and soul.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's assume mind is part of body.
Body.
Body. Okay. Vinanath and Sirisha also, because they are sitting with Ashok, they are agreeing with Ashok.
Prabhuji, can you ask the question again, please?
So sorry, the question is, so in this shloka, the topic is about happiness and distress, right? So when there is a distress, we feel pain.
Right.
Whether it's a physical pain or mental pain, we feel pain. So who feels the pain? Is it the body or the soul?
Ah, good question.
There are two more options. All of the above and none of the above.
Soul is immutable. You cannot
Yeah.
undergo any kind of change.
Yeah, very good.
So if it is can be subjected to distress, that is also some kind of change, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I feel it's body and not soul.
Okay, I thought you agreed with Ashok, right? No?
I
Oh, you said
agree.
body. Oh, you both said body? Okay, then I was
So for me,
okay, I was wrong. Okay.
I was under the assumption that, as you said, the false ego,
Um,
that's where the happiness and the distress from the past life and this life gets stored. So I was thinking it's a part of soul.
Yeah.
If that's not the case, then I will also go with body.
Okay. Okay. Now Ashok is also leaning towards the majority, which is body.
I think, I mean, it is a very good question. I think we like sense the pain through our senses. We sense the pain.
Okay.
But pain is processed by the soul. You know.
Pain is processed by
The input is because through our physical structure. Either it can be external organs or it can be internal organs. Like when we feel pain, the skin feels the pain, or sometimes you can say when the pain is more emotional, the heart or the mind feels the heart feels the pain and mind feels the distress, or what people have this depression.
Yeah.
Right. But ultimately it is processed by the soul. Like, it gets stored in your soul. So I think soul is the ultimate, what do you call that? Receiver, for the lack of better word. Soul is the ultimate receiver. And I think it should be soul, because that's how we are paying for our karmas, because the soul pays for the karmas, right?
Okay. Okay. Now let me go back to the people who answered. So Ashok, you still stick with soul for some time, okay? You play a different game. Okay. Now, Vidanath, you said, you said body, because soul is immutable. It cannot be changed. If the soul feels the pain, that means it's also mutable. And by nature, soul is immutable. So that means soul is ruled out. So it's only body. Now, body, what is body made up of?
The 5 elements.
Matter, right? Matter. The 5 elements. Pancha Mahabhuta. Earth, water, fire, air, ether. Now, matter, for example, this is also made up of matter. Now, this is a sharp pin, right? Now, I'm piercing here. And there's a small table here, which is made up of matter, not the soul. I'm piercing the table with a sharp pen. And it's not crying. Now, if I go and pierce the same thing into Vinanath's hand, he may not cry immediately, but after 5 minutes, he will cry. So, if it is the body that feels the pain, and body is made up of matter, this body, the body of the table, should also feel the pain.
But that does not have consciousness.
That means it is the consciousness that is undergoing the pain. Basically, consciousness comes from soul.
Consciousness is giving the body the ability to undergo pain. So there is no consciousness in this.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have the ability to undergo pain, or it doesn't have the ability to experience it. Pain is also one kind of emotion.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have any ability to experience any kind of emotion.
Yeah.
Now, because I have consciousness, I can experience anything.
Yeah.
And because I can experience anything, when I experience good things, I'll be in Maya. When I experience pain, I'll be crying. So.
Yeah. So consciousness is nothing but soul.
Yeah, that's the obvious.
Yeah.
I agree.
So because this does not have a soul, it's not feeling the pain.
Yeah.
Whereas we have soul, we are feeling the pain.
We are feeling the pain.
That means indirectly we are saying soul is feeling the pain.
I have a question, Prabhuji, here.
Soul is giving the body to feel the pain.
Yeah, it is ultimately body that is feeling the pain.
Yeah.
Because if soul feels
but
the
body
pain,
is made up of matter.
Yeah. And
the matter is it's inert, right? It's an inert object. Matter itself does not have any consciousness.
Yeah, matter itself does not.
Yeah. So if we are saying body is feeling the pain, body is dead matter, and dead matter cannot feel the pain. Once the soul leaves the body, then no matter what you do to the body, no pain.
Yeah, autopsy.
Yeah. So the only difference is consciousness. And
But
when we say
Prabhuji,
consciousness, it's nothing but soul. That means we are indirectly saying soul is feeling the pain. If we say because of the soul, we are feeling the pain. In other words, it's saying soul is feeling the pain. Now somebody says soul, as Ashok said in the beginning, soul feels the pain. And that is also wrong, right? Because soul is immutable. Soul is pure in its original state. Soul cannot feel the pain. So who is feeling the pain?
Prabhuji, even though we say, I mean, the consciousness is like soul, but there is living matter and dead matter, of course. And so in living beings, we also have mind, intelligence, false ego, and other stuff apart from the soul.
Yeah.
So that also comes under the living being matter, that is like material body. And that is probably causing these emotions to happen, like, I mean, this sadness, distress, and feeling of like piercing, or maybe sadness when something happens, or happiness when something happens. So that is causing, is what I'm thinking, the happiness and sadness. Whereas in soul is not directly involved, but it might carry the karma to the next life after which this happens. But the current,
we're talking about right now.
yeah, right now it's I think it's the consciousness that we are talking about is like mind and intelligence and false ego, rather than the soul in itself.
So this thing, it goes into the 13th chapter.
Okay.
And 13th chapter, the 6 and 7. Shloka 6 and 7. He says like, I think even mind which distress everything, it's all created up, which is the body. So soul does not feel it.
Yeah, soul does not feel. Yeah. At the same time, body is dead matter, so body does not feel.
I have another.
Yeah.
The happiness or distress, you only feel it through a sensory perception, right?
Yeah.
So I have sensory perception, but the wooden table does not have sensory perception.
So we have sensory perceptions, and the feeling part, the feeling part for the sensory objects are the senses, basically, right?
Yeah.
So it comes from soul again, consciousness.
Yeah.
We are thinking, feeling, and willing. These are the three functions of the consciousness. Wherever there is consciousness, these three things happen: thinking, feeling, and willing. So the feeling or emotions or feeling, they are part of consciousness again. Yeah. So
Prabhuji, the way
yeah.
I based my answer was like, qualitatively, the soul is basically like the supreme, which is Satchitananda, which is happiness, and we are in a state of happiness. So I thought that, pain, distress does not affect the soul because
Yeah,
it
that
is
is
supposed
correct.
to be in
Yeah, that is correct.
positive state.
That is correct. But why did you base your answer saying that body is the one that feels? Is it based on the process of elimination? If it is not soul, then only body. I said there is a third answer, right? None of the above. Or fourth answer.
All of the above is right answer.
All of the above. Or maybe fifth one. I don't understand the question. The answer is C. None of the above. Neither soul nor body. Because by nature, soul is immutable. So soul cannot feel the pain. and body is dead matter. So dead matter cannot feel the pain. So the right answer is C. But who is feeling the pain here?
Yeah.
So the answer is it is C, but there are details to it. C is none of the above, and the details are: soul imagines that it is feeling pain. Soul does not feel the pain, but soul imagines that it is feeling pain. Soul imagines. Soul imagines that it is feeling the pain. Just like, and I'll give more details to that, just like in a dream. Let's say a tiger is chasing us in a dream. And we imagine that to be true. Is that true? No. Just like that, for soul, it is not true. The pain is not true for the soul. But soul imagines, just like how we imagine that chasing of a tiger in the dream is real. Similarly, when there is a pain, the soul imagines that the soul is going through the pain and it identifies it as real. And who is facilitating this to happen? There has to be a mediator between soul
body.
and
Mind.
Yoga
Yes,
Maya or
mind.
illusion.
Mind. It is a mind. Mind is the interface between soul and body. Soul is we can say soul is the software, body is the hardware, and mind is the interface, the CPU. Mind is the one that processes.
Firmware.
Operating. Yeah, that's right.
It's a looseware. It's not firmware. It's looseware. Because from one body to another body, it is carried forward, right? So it does not stay with one body. So it's looseware. So through the interface of mind, which is part of the subtle body, and the soul carries the subtle body, right? That's why soul carries an impression of the pain. It does not remember the details of the pain. Like if somebody pierced with a sharp pen or needle, or it does not remember those details. But the impression of the pain will be remembered and carried forward to the next life.
Will that be in the mind? The impressions? The impressions of...
Yeah, it will be in the subtle body, mind. Yeah. Mind, but the soul imagines that the soul is going through this pain. Just like how we feel in the dream. Okay. Now, when there are difficulties in our life, now what Krishna is telling here is to tolerate. Okay? Whether it is soul feeling or body feeling, we are feeling. Okay. Those are the details. If you forget, now when there is a difficulty, now you will not analyze, okay, am I feeling, or the soul is feeling, or body is feeling, or mind is feeling? And you will not go and refer to the notes. You will not do this analysis, right? So you will just feel the pain. And Krishna is telling to tolerate that pain. And there are certain things that we can control and overcome those difficulties. And there are many things which are beyond our control that we cannot change, and we just have to tolerate. There's no other option. Somebody might ask, right? Okay, so why should I tolerate? I worked so hard in my company. I worked so hard. I was expecting a promotion and I did not get the promotion. Whereas the other person who did not work at all, he got the promotion. So when an unfair treatment happens like that, do we have to simply tolerate or do we have to question? Yes, we have to question. We have to question with a with a proper tone, not in a argumentative mood or not in a quarreling mood. If you do that, then you might lose the job that you have. Forget about promotion, but you might even lose the job that you have. So, and that's what happens if you don't have knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, and if you don't know how to handle things, you might end up quarreling with your manager. But if you have an understanding of this tolerance, so in the beginning, you'll remember these instructions from Krishna that, okay, I have to tolerate. There is something beyond my control. I need to tolerate. And then you have every right to ask your manager why it happened like that. And even after asking your manager, if it still does not happen, then you have to tolerate. You have to tolerate, thinking that there are 5 factors that are involved to fulfill any action. And we discussed those 5 factors, right? Desire.
Krishna's,
So first one is desire, then the material facility, demigods,
Cooperation with the demigods,
demigod cooperation,
activity, and
activity,
super soul's
Krishna sanction.
grand sanction.
Krishna sanction. Yeah. These are the 5 different things. So in this example of promotion,
Can you repeat
there.
them, Prabhuji?
Hmm?
Can you repeat them, Prabhuji? What are the
Yeah.
5 things?
First one is desire. Second one is the material facility. Material facility to perform the action. Simply having a desire is not enough, right? You need to have material facility that can function to achieve to fulfill the desire.
This is given by demigods?
Third one is demigods cooperation.
Okay.
So first one is desire. Second one is material facility. Basically body. Material facility means body. Third one is demigods cooperation. Fourth one, the action itself, the endeavor, the effort.
Prabhuji, can I ask a question?
Yeah, 1 second. And the fifth one, Krishna's sanctioning. Paramatma sanctioning that action. And
no.
yeah. So if any one of these 5 elements is absent, then action cannot be performed. Even if one element is absent, action cannot be performed. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
So, Prabhuji, like you're saying, like if any one of the element is absent,
yeah,
the any action that we are trying to do, be it materialistic action, or maybe I'm not sure about spiritual, but let's just say for the sake of discussion or argument that spiritual action as well.
Yeah.
It will not happen. Okay. But my question is, let's say the object is there.
Yeah.
The desire is there. The blessings of demigod is not there.
Okay.
But Krishna's sanction is there. Will the action still be performed or no? I know it's a very rare situation where Krishna will tell the demigods that I don't care what you say, but I'm going to sanction it. And we are probably not lucky enough, but for the sake of discussion.
Yeah, and these things they don't happen sequentially or in the order that I presented them, right?
Correct.
Desire is the first thing, okay?
Correct.
It's the seed of all actions.
Yeah.
That is the root of all actions. But other things, they don't happen in the same order that I presented.
Correct.
Krishna's sanction is there. That means there is demigod sanction also. There is demigod's cooperation also.
Okay.
Yeah, if Krishna is sanctioning,
okay,
even if demigods, they were not willing to cooperate in the first place.
Yeah.
But Krishna, looking at your sincerity, Krishna wants to make it happen.
Okay.
He can reverse demigods' cooperation, demigods' demigod's cooperation or uncooperation. Responses.
No.
Should
Okay.
be-
Okay.
Yeah.
You need to talk to Krishna now.
Krishna's sanctioning supersedes everything.
Yes, that's okay. Good.
Yeah. And an action can happen even if you don't desire, if Krishna
Yeah. That I know very well. It can.
difficulties, right? You don't desire difficulties. But Krishna is
I'll
sanctioning you.
That's what I'm thinking, Prabhuji. If Krishna
No,
sanctions,
because it
even if
has
we don't
happened.
have desire or
Yeah.
cannot perform that physical,
Yeah.
material, this thing,
No demigod,
he
no
would
desire,
manifest.
no material facility, nothing.
No,
Only
no,
one element
I
is-
100% agree to it. I'll tell you the reason why.
Yeah.
At least I can say on tip of my fingers, I can recall at least 2 incidences
Mhm.
where I had zero desire,
Yeah.
but it happened. So the first incident is when I was a kid. I was like maybe 10th. So after passing my 10th, my mother wanted to change my school.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And I was open to any school but just one school,
Mhm.
because that school for me, I just didn't want to be there,
Okay.
and I tried in every school. Guess what? I ended up in the same school that I didn't want to be.
Yeah.
That's the first incident I will always remember. Second incident is, back then I was in India. I was about maybe 28, 27, 28.
Mhm.
And people kept asking me, hey, will you ever go to US? Will you ever? And I'm like, no. I will go to any country in the world.
Mhm.
And before coming to US, I visited like 5-6 countries.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can go to any country in the world. I just never want to go to US.
Mhm.
And guess what? I'm now sitting in US.
Yeah.
So I completely agree that if Krishna's sanction or desire is there, object, your desire, demigod cooperation, those are all secondary. Then that will supersede everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So I
there is
fighting.
another sloka in 6th chapter. Yadruchya labha santushto. So basically, Krishna says happiness and distress, they come on their own accord.
Correct.
So even if you don't invite them, or even if you don't strive for them, they'll come. Happiness and distress. Like whatever success, the so-called success that we are proud of, somebody working at Amazon, Facebook, Microsoft, or whatever, a Starbucks.
Like I go everywhere, everyone drinks coffee, so I stay away from caffeine.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, their soft drinks also has caffeine.
Yeah.
So the only thing I drink is water.
It's like, so Ashok is like that lotus flower. Lotus is, is always in the mud, but never touches the mud. Padma Patram Ivam Basa. He's leading by example. Padma Patram Ivam Basa. So the so-called success that we are proud of. The reality is, it happens even if we don't strive for it. And because we have some position, we have to work and to maintain our livelihood, we have to put our effort. But the reality is, even if you don't put an effort, it will come. Yeah. It doesn't mean Krishna is telling all of us to, sit idle and do nothing. No, we have to put our endeavor. But the reality is, happiness and distress will come even if we don't strive for it. So they come on their own accord, and we must learn to tolerate. There is a famous example of Tukaram. Tukaram, one day, he's at home, and then his wife asks him to go out and fetch some money and buy some vegetables so that she can cook. And then Tukaram steps out of the home. He finds some work and then gets some money. And then after getting the money, he's walking towards a grocery shop to buy vegetables. Apna Bazaar. He's walking towards Apna Bazaar. And then a homeless person, couple of homeless people, they meet him. And then he just donates whatever he has to them. And then he's left with maybe one or two paisa. And then he buys a sugar cane. And then he comes home with sugar cane. And then he gives that to his wife. And then, so his wife, Tukaram's wife, she's not a pious lady. She's not a pious lady, and she's not very cooperative with Tukaram. So she gets angry. Looking at that sugar cane, nothing else to cook, she gets very angry. And then in that, out of that anger, she takes the sugar cane, and then beats him up on his head. Now that sugar cane becomes into two pieces. Now, sugar cane is very hard, right? For sugar cane to become into two pieces, somebody must really hit very hard on the head. So, looking at the two pieces of the sugar cane, Tukaram, he takes one piece and he gives one piece to the wife. And he tells, anyway, we have to make two pieces. One for you, one for me. Take one and one for me. And then he goes in front of the Vittal deity and then tells, Oh Vittal, I thank you so much. I'm very grateful to you for giving such a wife so that I can always remember you. It's a real incident. It happened in Tukaram's life. So one must learn to tolerate. I mean, there are many things that we cannot control in our life. There are only few things that we can control. When COVID happened, nobody knew how to control it. Nobody had any clue what was going on. So one must learn to tolerate.
Prabhuji, when we think of Krishna in the times of distress,
Yeah.
or we are calling him out, isn't that more of a selfish thing that, we are only thinking or calling out to him with all that emotion when we are distressed? Because when we are happy, the intensity is not as high as when we are in distress, because we really are begging and pleading from our heart, versus when you're happy, the
Yeah.
call will not come from so deep. So even though I know we have no control over that, but isn't it more selfish that we are inclined to call Krishna when we are sad or distressed? Or is that, it's hard for people, I guess, who are not realized, for them to be equipoised in both sadness and happiness. But I was just wanting to know your thoughts on that, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So for conditioned souls, it is very easy to remember Krishna when there are difficulties. For saintly people, they remember Krishna all the time. Goodness, good thing, bad thing, happiness, distress, doesn't matter. They are equipoised and they remember Krishna all the time. But for conditioned souls, it is very easy to remember Krishna only when there are difficulties. Because when everything is going fine in life, why would anybody want to sit in Bhagavad Gita class and listen? We're all sitting here because each one of us have a unique situation. There are some common problems which all of us have, and there are some unique problems that each one of us have. So you look at all these so-called successful people, Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos. They're in one sense enjoying the so-called happiness all the time, right? The material happiness, material success. That's why they don't turn to God. So only when there are difficulties, they turn to God. And that was Kunti Devi's prayer. Kunti Devi's prayer was, "Oh Krishna, please give me," there are a series of prayers, Kunti prayers. There is a small book also Prabhupada has written. It's available on vedabase.io. So Kunti Devi was praying to Krishna that Krishna, please give me difficulties, because only when I am difficulty, I will remember you. And it's a good point that you raised this topic. If you look at the shloka, right, 2.14, Matra Sparshastu Kaunteya. So why Krishna used the word Kaunteya here? He's referring to Arjuna as Kaunteya. So why Krishna is referring to Arjuna as Kaunteya here? Why? I asked a question and you nodded the head horizontally. Son of Kunti. Yeah. So Krishna was reminding Arjuna that, hey, look at your mother Kunti. How many difficulties, how much distress she had tolerated. And you are her son. So you should be tolerating in the same way, just like how your mother tolerated. And we all know what kind of difficulties Kunti Devi tolerated. So the Pandavas were poisoned. The Kauravas tried to kill Pandavas many times. Kunti Devi tolerated all those difficulties. So many difficulties Kunti Devi tolerated. So Krishna is reminding Arjuna that you are coming from a family where your mother tolerated so many difficulties and you should be tolerating. So what exactly Krishna is asking Arjuna to tolerate here? It is not, so nobody is piercing Arjuna's hand with a pen, right? So what exactly Krishna is asking Arjuna to tolerate?
Lamentation. His lamentation.
No, if he tolerates lamentation, then
he's in distress.
Yeah, he's in distress. So
he's asking him to tolerate the compassion or the love. The sadness that he's feeling because he's killing his kinsman. So,
the bodily conception of life.
The bodily conception of life. Okay.
Expectation.
Attachment. Somebody say attachment.
and attachment.
Situation.
Tolerance. Somebody say tolerance.
Situation.
The question, what exactly Krishna is asking Arjuna to tolerate? Somebody can still ask.
He's asking him to tolerate sadness and desire.
He's asking to tolerate sadness and desire.
Sadness and desire.
Sadness and desire. Okay. So Krishna is basically asking Arjuna to tolerate the pain that Arjuna is feeling when he is fighting with his kinsman.
I got it right. Yes.
Yes, you're right, Abhi. Very good.
So, Prabhuji, about this shloka, can we also say that Bhagwan is asking us, like in our own unique situations, to rely on our family's histories, that see what your mother has gone through. It's not only for Arjuna, but even when we have to soothe somebody who is in pain, we would say, oh, look what your dad experienced when he was younger, or what your mom experienced. You have the same lineage. You have had parents who have taught you something. So it could be even that he's asking us to rely on our family history, on our family things that we have learned
to derive strength.
To derive strength.
Like just because your mother, tolerated pain.
Yeah. To derive strength is what I meant. Look what. Yeah, because if we know of our family. Yeah.
Mother's example. Yeah.
I have a question, Prabhu.
Mm-hmm.
So now we are at a point where I am assuming everybody is understanding the art of tolerance. Okay.
No, I wanted to check. You're not in person here, but I want to check. If I pierce you with a pin, will you? How much will you tolerate?
I mean, maybe up to a certain level, maybe I will.
Okay.
Well, I did get some tattoos, so I guess I'll tolerate some bit of it. But
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
my question was, up to what level or up to what kind of situation are we supposed to tolerate? Like, for example, um, Arjun could have easily tolerated the disrespect he would get if he's not fighting. The people will call him a coward, or people will call him like, being a Kshatriya, you didn't perform your duty. He could have tolerated that as well.
No, that is more harmful than death.
Right. So in today's world now, in today's world, up to what level are we supposed to tolerate? Like, what is that point of breakage? Like, what is that ceiling? Like, okay, now this is enough. Now I should like retaliate. So up to what level?
So,
And then obviously there are two different worlds. Then there is a spiritual world where your tolerance should probably be higher than when you're not in a spiritual world. Like, for example, you are outside in the traffic, or you are in the office. So I don't consider them as part of my spiritual world. Those are more materialistic worlds for me. Spiritual world, if I'm in a temple, I'm doing service, and there is some devotee who's doing something or interfering in my service. So what are the levels? Like, where is the point of breakage?
yeah. So the point is, there's no difference between material and spiritual life.
Okay.
Okay. Everything is one and same.
Okay.
So in material life, if we put Krishna in the center, it is spiritual.
Yeah.
From that perspective, there's no difference between spiritual life and material life. We have only one life.
Okay.
We are under the illusion that we are leading two lives, but we are only leading one life.
Okay.
Now, from the spiritual perspective, we must learn to tolerate everything. We must learn to tolerate everything.
Correct.
Now, there are certain things that we can control or change, and certain things that not certain things. There are many things that we cannot control or change.
Correct.
So most of the times it is we just have to tolerate things. Occasionally you may be able to change things, very few things, but to a greater extent, it is tolerating everything. And when you are loving somebody, just like how you tolerate everything, and when you love Krishna, you have to tolerate everything. You are tolerating for Krishna, not for yourself.
But there is a point of retaliation, which I mean, not in a negative sense.
There is a
in a
threshold,
sense,
right? Yeah.
Defense.
In case of Trukaram, the threshold was much higher, so that even the wife beats him up with a sugar cane, he was tolerating. If somebody does that to, if Sirisha does that to Veena, she won't even do. And maybe the other way.
So, Prabhuji, if you remember,
we cannot tolerate such kind of things, right? Yeah, basically there are things that we can control and change, and turn them things in your favor, and many things that you cannot control.
Okay. Now, this is also this whole shloka and the discussion that we have for two classes is
so
also.
Let me clarify my point, okay, and then you can continue your question.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought you were done.
Yeah, because what happens is if you don't learn to tolerate, and if you think that you have control and you can change things and you can turn things in your favor, in that process, you might hurt things even more, and that might cause you much more distress. And I'm sure all of us have seen this practically in our life. In the name of not tolerating, or in the name of changing things or controlling things or trying to make things our own way, we hurt the situation even more, and it causes distress a lot more.
So there are the instances Krishna mentioned, like in chapter 1.
Prabhuji, I have a question.
Yeah.
When you're tolerating something, and what action do you use to tolerate?
You use your intelligence to tolerate things.
No, like in what action? Like what is the solutionary action?
So what does it translate to the action part, right? Tolerance, okay, so that's at the mental level, but what is your action? Okay, that's a good question. The smart question. Tolerance is at the mental level, because using your intelligence at the mental level, you have tolerated it. But how do you act? How do you act in such a situation?
I'm asking the question because you can't just like stand and use your brain. You can't speak to the person you're tolerating in your brain. So like what actions? Like how do you speak it out? How do you reveal what you're trying to tolerate?
Yeah. So let's say there is a situation. I gave an example, right? Tukaram's wife beat him up with a sugar cane on his head. So at a mental level, first he tolerated it. And then the action, how he exhibited the tolerance in action is
praying,
not getting angry, or not reacting in the same way that the wife acted upon. But he responded saying that he responded with a cool head, saying that anyway we have to break it into 2 pieces. You take one, I take one. So you show your tolerance in action with a cool head. That should be your response to the action, instead of reacting. Reacting means
in different types of times where you have to tolerate things, or the different action, or there different actions, or do you use the same action over and over again?
It depends on the situation, right? So sometimes you have to show your tolerance in action. Sometimes you have to show your tolerance in words. Sometimes nothing, no action, no words. That itself is tolerance. It depends. It depends on the situation. The example that I gave, so Tukaram, how he showed his tolerance in action?
Yeah, I know.
Using
But,
words.
Like,
using
can
words.
you show an example of a time where you don't use words or action? A time where you don't use words or action.
Where you don't use words or action. Okay, for example.
Like you said that sometimes you don't use words and action.
Yeah.
Like, what is a specific time that you don't use words and action?
Yeah. For example, somebody is on a deathbed. Somebody is diagnosed with cancer, and the doctors have given him 3 months. Okay, after 3 months, he will die. What can he do? He's laying down on the bed. He cannot do anything. Doctors have given up. There's no solution. There is nothing other than tolerating. No action, no words. He can only pray to Krishna.
but you need to use words to pray. You can use mind to pray,
Yeah,
but
that's yeah.
you have to sometimes use words to pray, like, right?
You can pray mentally also, right?
I know, but I know you can pray mentally, but sometimes you pray out loud, right?
Yeah. So you are not using your words to find a solution to your problem there, right? You're tolerating the problem because the doctors have given up. There's no cure for the disease. So you just pray to Krishna to give the ability to tolerate the pain.
Oh, so okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So thank you.
Ashok, you are asking something, right?
So how do we tolerate things, Prabhuji? Say, for example, someone is appetite and someone is trying to do bad things.
Mm-hmm.
So someone is trying to do bad things.
Bad things, yeah.
So how do we tolerate that? Okay, someone is trying to steal something from the car.
Yeah.
Which is a common occurrence.
Yeah,
anyway.
that you don't have to tolerate.
Say, for example, okay, if there is something good, something eatable, that is fine.
Yeah.
But they're just breaking in and trying to take away something.
Yeah. Those are all called aggressors. You don't have to tolerate them. We remember from first chapter,
yeah.
You can kill them actually. Yeah. One of the 5 aggressors is stealing others' property. You can kill them. Vedas are giving you license to kill. And it is legally allowed in Washington state. I'm sure it is legally allowed in many states. Somebody is trying to break into your property and you are seeing them. If you have a gun, you can kill them. But the only thing is you have to wait until they enter your property. Yeah, that's a legal condition.
Yeah,
somebody is behind your fence.
Yeah.
Okay, and you see that person, and it's a clear indication that he's going to jump through the fence and break into your home. At that time, you cannot kill him. You have to wait until he jumps out of the fence into your backyard. Then you can kill him.
So it's different, like aggressors.
Yeah.
And this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but somewhere also I was reading like how we respond to the events determine.
How we respond?
Respond to the actions. Like
yeah.
What others do.
Yeah.
Is very critical because if you react to any particular situation,
yeah,
the outcome will be always on the bad side.
Yeah. So when you react, you're trying to prove yourself correct. Yeah. Okay. But when you respond, your intention is to know who is right. The other person is right or you are right. But when you are reacting, that means you have decided that you are right and you are trying to prove you are right. But when you respond, when you use words, hey, okay, situation has come up. Let's sit down and discuss and solve this amicably. If you respond with a cool head like that, then your intention is to figure out who is right and who is wrong. Then the situation will not become worse. Yeah. And in the next sloka 2.15, Krishna explains what is the benefit of tolerating things. What is the benefit of tolerating things? So he tells one who tolerates, they are eligible for liberation. One who tolerates, they are eligible for liberation. So it's already 7:15. So maybe next week we will discuss that 2.15. Wow, 7:14 and we finished 2:14. Look at 2:14. The time is 7.14 and we finished discussing shloka 2.14. So anything else?
Prabhuji, I wanted to make a recommendation if others find it useful.
Yeah.
I was thinking if we should on a daily basis. If everybody is interested, we can just recite the shloka that we did for that week and just recite it on the group. Like we can just send a voice recording on the group. It's just a small practice that I was thinking that we can recommend. I was trying it this week just to recite the shloka over and over, just this one shloka.
Yeah.
So that even that one shloka, when we add up over 3 years, then it would be, we would have learned whatever we can remember. But for 1 week, we can just recite the shloka.
Yeah.
I-
My only worry is the group will be bombarded with too many messages.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe then we can do it on our own time. But I found it very useful to
Yeah.
meditate over this one shloka as it's easier to practice one shloka than to
Yeah, no, it's a good habit to keep reciting shloka so that you can memorize it and contemplate on the message of the shloka throughout the week. And so what can be more beneficial is to share any realizations while you are contemplating, while you are reciting the shloka throughout the week and meditating upon it. If there are any new realizations or new learnings, sometimes something just clicks all of a sudden out of nowhere. Some point, some realization, some learning, strikes. So if something happens like that, you can share.
Prabhuji,
Prabhuji,
also
for
I
me,
have one more thing before
Yeah.
everyone drops off.
Yeah.
We can, next Saturday night, we can have class at our home, my home, and I will cook the prasadam and everything, and if
Nice.
it's for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sunday it will be a little bit difficult. We have morning class as well, so it's difficult to cook, and we don't have much time in between. So it would be great if we can come on Saturday to our home. If anyone doesn't have rides or anything, we can provide that as well.
Okay.
I heard.
All for it. Let's raise hands.
I agree. Prasadam, I agree.
Huh?
As long as there's prasadam, I agree.
You agree? Okay. So raise
I'll-
your hand if you agree. Okay.
Uh,
Swati raise her hand. Swarit agreed. I'm agreeing.
I'm 50-50, Prabhuji.
So raise your hand half, na?
I've raised my virtual hand.
Yes.
So on the 8th, right, Mataji?
Saturday 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that works.
Okay.
Thank
Okay.
you.
How about you, Vinara? 50-50, yeah? Okay.
Because I have committed to the entire Bhagavad Gita recitation at Udupi Math.
Oh, Udupi Math. Okay, okay.
So,
We can do afternoon as well if that works. Afternoon or evening or whenever everyone is ready.
Mataji, what time were you thinking?
I was thinking Saturday dinner time, so that would be good for all of us to
Saturday morning better. I think Swarit, Saturday morning does not work.
Okay.
Is that right, Swarit?
Yes, but luckily this following Saturday is my day off.
Oh, okay. Then Saturday morning works for you?
I can try to make it.
What time is the recitation at Udupi Math?
It's at 4:30.
4:30.
But I have to pick up and drop my daughter from Kumar class.
Okay.
Or if someone can give me a ride, I can make it Saturday morning.
Yeah, I can take you there. Yeah, I can take you there. Yeah.
I can make it Saturday.
Okay, so Ashok is making it. So who has objection to Saturday morning time?
Prabhuji, I can't make it next week. I'm traveling to Colorado.
Oh, you're traveling. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry for that, Mataji. I'll miss the prasadam.
Okay, Naresh Prabhu, can you make it?
If it is like 11 a.m., Prabhu?
Yeah.
I will talk to my wife and try to make myself available.
Okay. Yeah, you can come with me. So
Yes,
you,
that would be better.
we all can go in the same car.
Yeah.
So Swati works for you, right?
Yes, works for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Aparna, so Saturday morning works for you?
I'm 50-50 right now, Prabhuji, because I know Vatal is a ways away from me, so I'm not sure about the timing.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, anyway, we'll touch base on this topic on the group and finalize the time. I and Madhuri can discuss offline and we can touch base. But Saturday, sometime we'll meet, either morning or evening, we'll meet at her place.
Sounds
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
Yeah, Prabhuji, one last thing. So
Yeah.
you said like realizations or some answers come out like randomly in a day-to-day basis for us, right?
Yeah.
For me, it's questions, Prabhuji. I get random questions like, oh, I should have asked this question to Prabhuji, then I forget it. And like during the class, I'm not able to like recollect what the question was.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we'll immediately post it in the group.
yeah.
Yeah.
So anyone can answer whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should do that.
Just thinking, Prabhuji.
Last week, I also had a lot of questions, Prabhuji, when we discussed this shloka.
Okay.
Because I most of the time lament and in those, I mean, not just, lamenting, but I'm mostly in the thinking about past and regretting a few situations that happened. I wish I could have acted differently or something like that, or just remembering people from my past and I wish I had them in my life or something like that. And yeah, so random situations and yeah, I mostly live, I'm a daydreamer generally. And so I generally live in those dreams most of the times, and that causes a lot of expectation issues for me in day-to-day life as well.
Sleep a lot.
Not sleeping. I just stay awake and just dream.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thinking, Prabhuji,
Hmm.
I'm in this situation because of the mistakes I did in the past and also the good things which I've done.
Yeah.
Even if one of those things wouldn't have worked in the right way, I may not be in this path. So either good or bad,
Mhm.
both in one way has helped me to be in this path. That's what which I was able to do.
The correct understanding or correct thinking should be,
Mhm.
whatever is happening, it is Krishna's mercy.
Mhm.
Not because of what we have done. That is also true, because we shape our next life in this current life. So all of us, we have shaped our current life in the previous life itself. And our endeavor in this current life that we are, whatever we are today, right? But all that is there. But when we are saying that whatever I am today is because of the actions that I have done, that means we are taking credit to ourselves. So correct understanding should be, it is because of Krishna's mercy, I'm in this position today. Even though I don't deserve, but I'm in this position, it is because of Krishna's mercy. And even when there is a suffering, right? The correct thinking should be, we should not ask, oh Krishna, why have you given me this suffering? The correct thinking should be, maybe I deserve a severe punishment, but Krishna has reduced it. Krishna has minimized it. That is also Krishna's mercy. And it is true, actually. It is true. It is not just for, to give some consolation to our mind, but that is true. So something bigger was going to happen, but Krishna has minimized that. Yeah. And let's say, even if a big thing has happened, a severe thing has happened, a big thing has happened, that is also Krishna's mercy. Because Krishna is trying to teach a lesson to us through that. It's a clear indication that we have not listened to Krishna's words in all other times. So Krishna has chosen this path of giving a severe punishment or presenting a severe situation in our life to help us come closer to him. That is also Krishna's mercy. So any situation, whether it is a good situation, bad situation, or a severely bad, everything is because of Krishna's mercy. Yeah.
And that also helps us, Prabhuji, with that perspective that we are less
tolerate.
sad.
It helps us tolerate things.
Right. And also being less sad about situations. Because whenever it is Krishna's mercy, then we know we don't need to be sad.
Because whatever Krishna does is perfect. Whether it is a good thing or bad thing, whatever Krishna does is perfect. Because he is perfect. There cannot be any flaw in what Krishna does.
I think the shloka was more of a relief to me that, okay, I'm not the only one who's sad.
Everyone is sad. Everyone is sad.
No, it gave me a perspective that the baseline, I mean, like you said, animals are living in fear, demigods are living in illusion, and our baseline is somewhat sadness. So I'm not the only one who's not thinking straight. Maybe everybody's in the same boat. Everybody's going through the same.
Demigods, the president of demigods, Indra, he is also under constant anxiety that is there someone else who is meditating to try to become Indra? Is there someone else who is meditating and trying to take over my position? He is under constant anxiety all the time.
Prabhuji, do demigods actually come into this Kali Yuga? Because I know in the other yugas they would come and interact with the devotees and rishis and all that. Do demigods actually appear in their full form in Kali Yuga, and are we actually able to see them if that's the case, or are they just invisible?
Yeah, they do come. They do come, and there were some instances where demigods met with other devotees in Jagannath Puri temple. Because Jagannath Puri temple, demigods come every day to take darshan of the Lord. Demigods, they come every day to take darshan of the Lord.
Even I had story like Tukaram was people from Vaikuntha came to take him to the Lord's Tukaram.
Yeah, and that happens for all saintly people. And the speciality of Tukaram's situations was he went to spiritual world in his own body. In his own body. The same body, the same material body in which he rendered service. Yeah.
So do the demigods come in human form? Are we to say that if we see a plumber, then he's a water?
You're curious to see how demigods look, huh?
So they come in human form, right? I mean, like ordinary people.
Yeah, they come in. That I don't know because I have not seen.
Similar questions for you.
Okay. What is your question?
For the past 1 week, you're eating my brain with this question.
Oh, about demigods?
Something similar.
Okay.
Actually, it's like, okay, there's spiritual world and there is Golok Dham and there is Yoga Dham.
Yeah.
Does Krishna go and say hi to Rama and can Rama go and say hi to Krishna?
So your answer should be like mine. I don't know because I have not seen. Okay. That's a good question. Just like how the other day Aparna mentioned, is Krishna missing me? If I don't come to the temple, is Krishna missing me? Yes, Krishna is
Prabhuji, I really do think he misses me. At least it's my feeling. If I don't come, I feel like, oh, 1 week she didn't come. So I make sure to show my face because he's seeing me.
Yeah. Now the purpose of going to temple is to give Krishna our attendance. Because we cannot see Krishna with our material eyes. We cannot see Krishna. Even though the deity form, that Vigraha form is not different from his Satchidananda Vigraha form, we cannot see. With our material eyes, we cannot see. So the purpose of going to temple is so that Krishna can see us, not that we can see Krishna. So Krishna is definitely missing you if you're not. So you also had.
Yeah.
Just thinking.
Me?
In his account, if he had attended the temple or not.
Will Krishna write in his attendance book? Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Yeah. So in his heart, he writes, and he misses. If somebody is not coming, he misses. Yeah, because Krishna is more anxiously waiting for all of us, more than we feel anything for Krishna. That's why we don't feel anything for Krishna right now. But even after some purification, after some progress on the devotional path, we start feeling for Krishna. But what Krishna feels is much more than what we can feel for Krishna. He's the father, right? So a father can feel much more for the child than the child can feel, anything for the father. And it's a personal, exchange of love between Krishna and individual. Each and every person, he reciprocates in a different way. And it's special. And we can experience that, when we practice this devotional service, we can get glimpses of that. We can get glimpses of that experience.
Yeah. Actually, this was one of my things in my mind that I wanted to, kind of like discuss. Like when you said that, we can always post our realization of any shloka that we are discussing, and we can post our realization in the group.
Yeah.
When we had the, remember, Prabhuji, when you organized the Diwali party?
Yeah, at our home.
It was that at that point of time, it was in my mind that I should ask everybody how we all got into Bhakti, because it's so different for everyone.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Beautiful stories come out of it.
Yeah, so one day we'll have that discussion. Maybe at Madhuri's home, next Saturday when
maybe. Yeah.
We can have this discussion. Yeah.
And those Prabhujis or Matajis who can't come, we can always do a Zoom and we can include everybody there.
Yes. Yeah.
And then we can make them, we can show them virtual prasadam so they can have virtual, blessings from prasadam.
Yeah, that's a good point. We can discuss that. How you got connected to Krishna, how you came into ISKCON, and all those things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Prabhuji, one last unrelated question. Do we have any Krishna conscious restaurants in Seattle or some area?
In Seattle, no.
No Krishna conscious restaurants at all?
No Krishna conscious restaurants, but there is one devotee. Her name is Ekta Gupta. So she can deliver.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Didn't you say, Prabhuji, that Swami Narayan food is available at one of the restaurants? Which one?
There are a couple of other restaurants where you can get, no onion garlic food. There are, I think, a couple of restaurants in Bellevue. But it's not, maybe Swami Narayan temple, they offer to, Swami Narayan.
I have one in Michigan. Krishna Cafe or something.
Yeah.
The first batch of food goes to the temple in Detroit.
Okay.
So they sponsor food, and it's all like no onion, no garlic.
Okay. Yeah. In all other cities, there is Govinda's restaurant.
Yeah.
But Seattle doesn't have. In Bellevue, they are planning to do something like that. Not exactly Govinda's, like a full-fledged restaurant, but something like that. It will open in June, July timeframe.
Okay, thank you, Guruji.
Yeah. Okay, it's 7:34. I think we can conclude the call here. Thank you everyone for joining. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Guruji.